Hello, hello, hello. Merry Christmas. Welcome to the space between ideas. All right. Well, we got lots of good stuff happening. Um, I don't know where to start here. Maybe I could start with just the Superbase database. It's just so insane right now. I don't even know what to think about this. Um, I don't know. So I just kind of woke up today and I was like, huh, I noticed that we got this GPT 5.1 now inside of Windsurf, and it's currently free, meaning I don't know, like they want you to use it a lot. And I had a problem because in the last couple of days, I was going crazy, like trying to like make some changes to the code. And I kept sending the same garbage. I don't know, like I was like, fix it. Okay. And then it wouldn't pass all the tests inside of Git for the poll. And then I would just say fix it, and then it would just like not pass the test again. I spent like 2 days just like fix it, and then so I would paste the error into Gemini. So in my Gemini, I got two Geminis. I got one who is acting as like an architect, and then the other one I call him Webmaster, and it helps me to work on some other things like connecting Superbase and Cloudflare and GitHub and any of those external. So it deals with like API keys and how to work through issues outside of Windsurf. And then my architect is helping me to work inside of Windsurf. And more, I started like because it's just I wasn't getting any solutions, so I just started using both Windsurf. well, I started using both architect and webmaster to try to solve this issue with passing tests inside of. And the thing is, I think that there's some issues with the tests because, and also I spent like 200 and something, 280 credits, 281 credits in just a couple of days. So, and then Gemini 3 Pro came out and it's garbage. It would just like cause all of these issues inside of. I think it may be like a strategy of Windsurf because Windsurf, I thought Windsurf was owned by OpenAI or something. So that means that they would try to be pushing their own models. So they released GPT 5.1, and then they want people to be using GPT 5.1. So they made GPT 5.1 free, and GPT and Gemini 3 Pro is just it's causing like it says cascade error, cascade error, cascade error. Like, oh, I had like 20 cascade errors. So what's that? That's like 40 tokens just on errors. Anyways, I was starting to lose it. So then I was like, I don't know, what do I do with this? It's just too crazy. And I don't know, something changed in the last couple of days. And I realized that I feel like we're back to the original, like where we were months and months and months ago, where um let me show you. So maybe what I'll do is I'll just share the whole screen because I don't necessarily need audio. All right, let's do this. Let's do it. Wait a minute. I wonder if I can share audio at the same time. Because it had a button that said I could share. Anyways, we'll test to see if the audio works because there's this button that says also share audio. Also share the audio. What about the entire screen? Also share the audio. Also share system audio. But there might be a problem. All right, let's test to see if this works. Okay, so I'm sharing the whole screen. Then I'm going to open up this. Click on my own website. And it's live. And it's live. Good. The audio is working. And it's live. Good. And it's live. You can hear me. And it's looping. Good. Yeah. Okay, what are we gonna do here? Hmm. Okay, I want to show you two things to get started with. The first thing I want to show you is the super base, super de duper base. All right, let me just turn this down a little bit. Okay. All right, so with super base, this is what's going on. I got this crazy. I just for the first time, I just realized, like, I don't know, maybe my database is kind of messed up. So way the heck up here. Uh, I don't even. We got something about admin users and admin audit log. I don't even know what that is. What is this? And I got user subscriptions, journey sessions, got auth something, blog posts, emails, auth, OTP, auth events. So the thing I was trying to do is we're working on the paid version right now. And I tried to just pull this thing apart. Oh, maybe it doesn't get small. Okay. So I tried to like pull this thing apart. You see how this is like team members, project assignments. It's like way, way over here on the left-hand side. And they're both coming out of the left side or the right side. So I decided since they're both coming out the right side, I'll just drag it over to the left side of the screen, as well as this one. So this one is like touch base, also on the left side, or also coming out of the right. I tried to like make it so that all of these, if it has a line coming in through the right side, then through the left side, then I'll pull it over, and then so how it is like that. But it just looks like a mess. Look at this. We got team member projects, we got touch bases, and then we got like tasks, we got objectives, we got projects, we got task assignments, we got teams, team members, we got rabbit race goal tracker items, we got dial states. It's just crazy. All this madness. Anyway, so I thought like what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna be doing some debugging. And I got to start debugging from like the very beginning, meaning I got to sign in. And then actually I did. So I signed in and it like immediately had a bug. And then I just realized, okay, wait a minute. I think everybody needs to get on the same page somehow. So I was talking to my good buddy, architect. This is architect, by the way. And all right, so here's the critical failure of the feedback loop. The user's reality. The user is stuck. They're following instructions to reload, but the red error banner failed to load team members persists. They're frustrated because no code has changed. Okay, that's not exactly. Okay, yeah, we could just keep going with this string. To fix a specific error since the last failure, diagnostic gap. So Cascade keeps saying the API returns 200, so it should work, but the client is throwing an error. This means response shape JSON structure from the API likely doesn't match what the React component expects. And that's it, like, right? So we have all these React components, and then we have these APIs, and then we have our database. And the question is like, is it all connected? So this is the testing gap. The user explicitly asked, do you have any ideas about debugging and testing before asking me to do work again? This directly called to the end-to-end testing infrastructure we built instead of treating the user as a QA tester. Stop manual testing. We're done asking the user to click reload. We must use the playwright agents, the test suite, to reproduce the fix. This error programmatically. hypothesis. And then, okay, so then it's like, all right, here's the current situation, here's the hypothesis, here's the direction. So use a new testing file. So we want to create a new testing file. Use the sign up and get team fixture action, navigate to dashboard projects, assert the team member table is visible, debug inside the test, analyze the mismatch. So architect is saying you should create a new test file. On the other hand, see, this is what's happening. So right now, the concept behind my paid version of the app is we're going to have a project page, objectives page, scoreboard, and rabbit race goal tracker. And so on the projects page, you need to be able to create a project. So each project, it's going to have a project name, and then there's going to be like some vision statement connected to the project. But you also have to have your team members that are connected to the project. So here is where you click a project. Once you click the project, then you go to the objectives. One project can have several objectives. So once you get to the objectives page, then you have more choices. And then each objective has its own scoreboard. But the scoreboard also allows you to select multiple objectives at the same time. And maybe you can select multiple projects at the same time. And so the scoreboard is a traditional like to-do list. What are the to-do items? What's the the date, the due date, and then who's assigned to the project, and then the status. Then the rabbit race goal tracker is this crazy thing that I invented somewhat recently. Like, right, so I need to make a French video. What's the next video? Maybe I'll make a French video after this. I'm talking about like a YouTube video of with me speaking French. Okay, what's the next objective? That's what we're doing right now. And then I'm also using the Racy Matrix and Gemini to create some new new process for creating some. I want to automate the process of creating some LinkedIn posts. I want to see how well that can work. And then I read the news, and then I'm writing a book, and then I should be renovating my apartment, but it's not happening. Anyway, so what the point is like, so a to-do list item is going to go here, and then the person who's responsible for that to-do list item is going to have subtasks. So these words actually change to like task one or subtask one or something like that, and this your big goal changes to like to-do list item. And then I also invented some new thing called a dial. So what happens with the dial is, let's say that you have a bunch of subtasks underneath your tasks. What you do is you click the dial. It's not there, by the way. So, but it will be. And then you click like the two most important items. So then on the left side, would be the first thing you click, and then on the right side will be the second thing you click. And then you just click one of those things as the thing you're working on right now. So, like, it's the concept behind this piece of software is like, what's the value added that my to-do list is going to add compared to other programs? The vision statement. So every project has a clear vision statement, and then the objectives. There's like three different modules to help you to really clarify what your module should be, what objectives you should pursue, and this is also in the free version of the app. So we have the brainstorm module, the choose module, and the objectives module. So then people are like, well, hey, if I can do that for free, then why am I going to pay? Well, because in the free version, the data that you enter into this little checkbox here, like let's say that we're on step one of the brainstorm module, right? So how are others doing it? Have you figured out best practices? Talk to experts, follow the trends so you can keep up with what's going on, provide examples. Right, what are we talking about? Right. So we go to the blog, and have you ever heard the phrase priming the pump? With an old-fashioned water pump, you can't just crank the handle and expect water to gush out. You have to pour a little water in. That initial bit of water creates the suction needed to draw up a powerful continuous stream. Most business brainstorming sessions fail for one simple reason: no one primes the pump. Managers gather their sharpest minds in a room, stand before a blank whiteboard, and ask them to think outside the box. All right, so then I go, what comes first, the chicken or the egg, the pirate explorer. Right, so I got this three forces competition map from All right, so what happens is you read that and then you're like, wow, that's so awesome. I'm going to go to step one, imitate. So then it brings you back to the journey. All right, we're back. All right, so you got to figure out like what are other people doing, and then you got to figure out your value added. What I'm saying is that that's just step one, and then there's all these 17 steps. So the whole concept behind Project Arrowhead is that like if you go through these 17 questions with your team on a regular basis, then you're going to really have like a really good understanding of what we're doing and why and how. It answers the what, the why, and the how. And then all of those things eventually are going to land onto some kind of task list. Also, the task list is free. So you can see all these things are in the free version of the app. But well, what's the issue? So because this text is saved in your own browser, I don't have access to this text. You don't even, I mean, like, what happens if you want to add more text? What do you mean more text? I mean, project, like, so that's the whole basis of the free app is I have to have access to a database because if I'm gonna provide you some service where I'm gonna like save data for you, then we need to arrange the data in a certain way. So you're gonna be able to create more than one project. You're gonna be able to add more than one objective to each project. And then you're gonna have scoreboards which are associated with objectives and with projects. And then you're also gonna see the rabbit race goal tracker. So each member of your team oh, and there's one more module that we're adding one module to the project. It's called vision statement. We got the three. It's already in the free version of the app, but now it's going to be here. Then there's one module that's added to the scoreboard. So when you go to your team member and you're like, "Hey, let's take a look at the to-do list," and they're like, "Okay," and then so there's like a little, you know, what do you call that meeting? A stand-up meeting. So it's like this little stand-up meeting, 5 questions that can help you to make sure you understand what your team member is doing. And that stand-up meeting is going to be connected to his rabbit race goal tracker. So you can have that stand-up meeting, and then he's going to go back to his rabbit race goal tracker. He's going to focus on what is specifically is he going to do, what are the subtasks for that item that he's doing, and then what are the blockers, and how does he going to overcome those blockers, and what kind of resources does he need help with. So this whole system, it's like it gives you all of the tools you need to manage projects and people. And uh, so in addition to this, I also have the whole the theory behind it. So if you click get our free course, you're gonna get like the actual the concept. Like, how did I build these concepts? Why did I add these concepts? What are the psychological tools? What are the business tools? What are the thinking tools and thinking methodologies behind that structure? Why did I create that structure? It's because, well, you got to go into this email course to find out. All right, so now the problem with Webmaster is like Webmaster says, do not ask me to click anything. Run the test right playwright test. Use the existing test infrastructure and reproduce this failure programmatically. Run PX playwright test ETE team invitation spec TS. So it seems to think that we already have some kind of test, and that's where I was like, I don't know if we have the right test. That was my problem. Okay, so I added webmaster's comments, and then at the bottom here, I said, hey, I'm not completely satisfied with the current test suite, and I've decided to work through the website one piece at a time. We did a lot of work in the previous sprint, and now that I've returned to the sign up page, I see that there are so many errors in the first step. I want to follow the flow of the database structure to use the lowest level of the database, which I suppose is user and then teams and then projects. I don't actually I actually don't know exactly what the database structure is, but we could check the Supabase. So we're going to go through every button, text box, text input box, button, pop-up screen, pop-up comma screen, table, and other elements of this website until everything's working. My concern is that our current testing processes were already having problems. Well, at least I thought I was seeing some problems. And we need to build some tests one at a time, or at least build tests that grow over time. I will decide what is in the next logical element of the website to test and how does it correspond with the database and the logic and the website logic. Then we'll write a test to understand its current condition and see how we can build on the previous test to see its ability to give us the baseline. It works well as we can tell from our test and contain edge cases and think outside the box, as sometimes users do crazy things and we don't want our website to crash. Then after all the automated tests and bug fixing is completed, I'll go through the elements manually with the server running. If everything's working, we can move on to the next element. Do you have enough knowledge of the code and all the elements of database logic to design sprints, blah, blah, blah? More importantly, let's begin with the assumption that your current understanding of the code is not correct, and you will only be able to create this plan by relying on Cascade's intimate understanding of the code base and access to Superbase through Webmaster. So who is this architect? So architect's like, okay, you. This is a very wise strategic pivot, and you're correcting a software's engineering mistake, integration bias. We spend too much time trying to make the whole system work together. All right, so there you go. So we're starting this thing called atomic verification. We'll pause on the feature development, enter quality audit phase. The reason we're gonna like stop is because, like, from my understanding, we already have the UI is built, or at least I think the UI is built to some extent, and it's just when I'm clicking buttons, it doesn't work. So I got to connect everything. All right, so I pasted this over to what do you call that thing? Windsurf. And then Windsurf did something. It created the atomic verification draft. All right, so schema map, Superbase auth. Although the Superbase auth users table does not define the public schema DDL, you pasted the application via Superbase JS, Superbase fields applied depending on. Okay, so I pasted the Superbase SQL, and then it went through my code to look at the DDL, and this with the drizzle schema. So it goes through the entire key elements and like I don't know, like everything, like exactly what does the database all look like? How's it all connected? So after we finished that, I pasted it back in. I pasted it back into Architect. And this is what Architect had to say. So this is an outstanding strategic reset. By pausing feature development, creating atomic verification plan, you've established a solid foundation for quality. Plan approved. Okay, so the schema and UI alignment confirmed. The fields match. Design constraints identified. One team per email. Testing strategy pyramid of component API ETE test is the correct way to ensure stability. We need to execute the plan, but we should start with the layer that has been causing the most pain, team initialization. All right, so then I take this prompt and I pop it into Webmaster because I want to make sure that Webmaster is on the same page as the architect. Oh no. Oh yeah. Wow, it's really keeping up. Okay, so this fantastic pivot, it completely shifts the dynamic from blindly trusting the automated test to verifying the actual product by forcing Cascade to map the database schema directly to the UI inputs. Right here it is. So the database schema directly to the UI inputs, you will immediately expose any disconnects like the team name field existing UI may not be connected correctly to back logic rates first. So this aligns perfectly with your frustration about the get started button error. We're going to look under the hood to see exactly what the button is trying to do versus the database expects us to do. So then all right, so I take both of these. I took the two, and then I gave it the atomic version plan. This is what the right move. So I gave it the same prompt as I gave architect, and then I also added architect's comments. This is the right move. We're shifting from planning to execution. Copy the prompt below, paste it to the chat, wait for results. Action component tests, create the file using the API tests, run report, execute immediately. Well, there you go. So that's where we're at right now. And just jump into our good buddy ding 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 Windsurf. All right, so the thing is that right now we got the GPT 5.1 high reasoning is free. Now the thing is, from my understanding, this is like something. This is a secret. I don't know if it's like a good secret or bad secret. From my understanding, that at some point, windsurf it's gonna make you're gonna have to start paying credits again for your 5.1. And the thing is that if you don't want to pay for the way when they like unfree it, when they make you start paying tokens again, usually what happens is that um, you have to do some kind of update. Like there'll be something over on the edge there, and it'll be like, "Hey, you gotta update your browser," and like that's the way that it like initializes the paying for tokens again. So if you don't update your browser for a while, then I think you could just keep using free tokens. All right, where are we? So there's a couple more things I want to share with you before we log off. All right. So I took architect. See, this is the outstanding plan reset. I took architect's comments, and I also took webmaster's comments. Here's website. This is the right move. We're shifting from planning to execution. So I took those two comments. I put it in there, and then here we are. So this is it. This is the current situation. I'll start sprint one by writing tests, not touching behavior. First, I'll mirror the existing unit integration test pattern. I'll implement sprint one in two slices. I'm now actually implementing sprint one, and now sprint one. Okay, and then I'm now adding two test files, and then we got okay status. Okay, team initialize verifying is passing. No app behavior was changed. Only tests were added. New component tests. What it covers: modal hidden when profile exists, modal visible when session exists, validation before network successful submission, backend service mocks used, new API tests, what it covers, test run and result, all tests passed, how you can run them from the project root, how you can run them, or simply, and let's just discover completion status. Team initialization verifies complete at all test levels. Component tests, okay. If you'd like, next we can either extend the small to only the team initialization or move to sprint 2. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this. I'm just going to stop sharing for a second. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to save and turn, and I'm going to close windsurf. Why? So, and then at the same time, I'm also going to window share. I'm also going to, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to paste what I'm going to paste what Cascade said to architect. That's step one. And then as it's thinking, I'm going to go over here and I'm going to write Cascade. And then I'm going to put architect. I'm going to go back to architect. So for the first couple steps here, I'm still going to include webmaster in the loop because we're just kind of barely just getting things back up. Now, as we wait, I'm going to share my whole screen. So you can see what's going on in the big picture. Okay. So, okay, this is a solid victory. Sprint one is complete. Sprint one, okay, I don't know what the heck that's saying. So I'm just gonna pop that into Webmaster. Okay, so in the testing process, we now started using, and we have a new file. So basically what happens is we have boot arrowhead. So it's called boot arrowhead stack and show next test. So what I do is I copy this and then I open up windsurf. What up, Gordon D? You chilling out? What? You gonna have a little nappy nap or what? All right, I'm just gonna close the saved ones, which should be all of them. I think it's gonna be a little bit slow just because like I'm like doing a live video at the same time. I got the MacBook with a like with an M1 chip, so it's fast. It's fast enough. Man, that FlexGate situation is just, I can't even believe it. I can't even move my monitor. I haven't moved my monitor for like 3 months. Because if I move my monitor, if I close my laptop, then it like, it's like, all right, so check this out. So what I do is you got to make sure that your Docker is open. What's this? Sprint 2.5. This is the wrong one. Uh-oh. Huh? Here it is. Yeah, here we go. 16 minutes ago. Whew. Scared me. Yeah, that refactor end-to-end test. I did that for days. Okay, so I'm just going to close this. Now, the reason I'm closing this is because now I'm going to do the boot sequence. All right, so when I do the boot sequence, the reason I'm doing the boot sequence is because I want to be able to see the actual website. Like, I want to know what's going on. Gordon, what is going on? You're doing, buddy. All right, so here we go. So now you're up to date. This is what it looks like right now with my current workflow. I open up Docker. I put the boot arrowhead stack and show the next test. That's it. It already has, like, it already read the whole database. It knows everything that we're working on right now, and it's going to create some automated tests, and then I need to test it like manually just to make sure that the testing and the sprints are lined up, and then go from there. Let's check. Let's just do a little check while we're waiting. So what did this? We're on to Webmaster now. Copy the prompt below. Sign up a new user. Okay, this is on to sign up a new user. Okay, we're not on to sign up a new user yet. So now I'm going to check the. Yeah, so I just had to I had to like make sure everybody's on the same page with the database. Everybody's on the same page with with the UI. Everyone understands what's going on, and then now we have like this plan for like going through each of these elements step by step. And then I told them, I want you to make automated tests for everything. Yeah, obviously, but so the thing is, but I still have to test it like by hand. Like I need to actually see it. And this is the main issue I was having was like I would say for the last 10 days. I wasn't actually looking at the UI of the website. I was just like, fix this, yeah, fix that, yeah, go ahead and fix that. And Gemini and Windsurf were communicating with each other constantly. I was just copying and pasting back and forth and back and forth and putting up PRs inside of GitHub. And I didn't even look at the UI at all. I was just like, because I've just figured if it has something that it needs to fix that it caught during an automated test, then probably, then. But then I started watching the automated test, like, because with Playwright, it actually, the screen will pop up and you can see it. It's like signing in, and then it's going moving here, moving there, and it wasn't actually doing the things which I thought it should be doing. And suddenly, one day, yesterday, I just woke up because I saw that GPT 5.1 was free, and then I was like, "Oh, GPT 5.1 is free." So it creates a psychological situation where if I'm not concerned about the tokens, if I'm not thinking about the tokens, then I'm willing to ask Cascade a small question, like something that. See, the issue is this token. It creates a psychological issue because what you want to do is maximize every token. And so you're gonna start asking Cascade, can you do 5 things at a time? And Cascade's like, yeah, sure, I can do 5 things at a time. And then it starts trying to do all these 5 things, and then maybe there's errors, maybe there's not, and then you're trying to maximize the token usage, and then you're like talking to the architect and webmaster, and you're like, hey guys, we got to get as much. And then it starts making like little mistakes, and you're like, why are you making mistakes? And it's like it creates this issue. So what is that? What is it when like you start paying somebody? Maybe it has something to do with when you start paying somebody. You start giving somebody money, right? And then your expectation for what you're going to get from that money is like X. For example, when you buy an orange and then you want to start like eating that orange, you have some expectation of how much orange you're going to get out of your orange after you peel it. And then imagine like 3 or 4 of the segments of your orange are like rotten. And then it's like, oh my goodness, like I wasn't expecting part of the orange to be rotten. Then you're like, I want to get, I don't know. So what happens when you start paying people and then you have these expectations for people's behavior? And then what happens if they don't meet the expectations? And then suddenly it's like, trying to, you're going down the wrong path. All right, check it out. Open the Arrowhead Dev app. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're just going to click this little buddy over here look at that, in IDE. It's going to open up the website. Ding, ding. Oh my goodness, it didn't work. Okay, good. Here's me app. All right, here's the things to against your 10. Docker's running. Dependencies are installed. env files are present. Postgres dev db migration seeds. Port 5000 available. Dev server. Windsurf browser. Readiness report. Docker's ready. Everything's ready to go. Good. Next, open the Arrowhead Dev app. Go to the sign up. Sign up. I don't want to sign up. Confirm. Wants me to sign up as a new user. I don't know why it should. I don't know. Sign in. Okay. Well, let's try it anyways. Plan. Let's make it BLAINE. Maybe we'll just do a 2-letter password, or just use PASSWORD. This password, PASSWORD. Capital P, password PASS. Sign up. Your account is created. Please confirm your email account. Confirm your sign up. Follow this link to confirm your mail. Your name, Billy Bo Bob Brain, Team Blaine. Creating your team. Oh, look at that. It did it. It worked. All right, it did it. We got the roles. Assign project to Blaine. No projects available. Actions. Add a virtual persona. Oh, it's working. Oh, freak, it's working. Whew. Okay, now we just do it step by step. Now let's sign in. Okay, what happened there? All right, let's describe what happened to the architect. All right, so I'm just gonna paste the information that I got from Cascade. Basically, Cascade is asking me to create a new user. And so what I did was I opened the Windsurf preview, and inside of Windsurf preview, I entered a new email address and a new password. That sent me a authorization email. So then I went over to the authorization email and I clicked the authorization. And then what happened basically was that it asked me to jeez. So I can't do all of this at the same time. It's too much bandwidth because I'm making a live video. Okay, basically what happened is that I followed the instructions of Cascade. And Cascade, I'm gonna paste you the Cascade ideas below, what Cascade told me to do. So what I did was I opened up um, the Windsurf preview window inside of Windsurf, and I followed the instructions to create a new user. So I signed up a new user, and then I went over to my email and the email verification, it worked. And then after I confirmed, I clicked the confirm button, then it opened up the website in my browser. So now I have the website open in my browser, and I also have the website open in Windsurf preview. But there was some small issue when I went back to the Windsurf preview and it wasn't automatically signed in. So I'm signed in inside of inside of the browser, but I'm not signed in inside of the Windsurf preview. So this is kind of an issue, and I don't know what to do about it exactly. So, for example, if I go to the Windsurf preview and I click the sign in button, and then I put in my credentials because, as you know, I told you that I've already clicked the button to confirm, and uh, I've already I can already see like I already added a team and a team member, and it's working inside of my browser. Oh, okay, now it's also working inside of Windsurf Preview. Okay, so I'm now signed in Windsurf Preview, and I'm also signed in my browser. Let's hold for more. Okay, it's dead. Okay, now I don't need to do both of them at the same time, so I'm just gonna have to close this one for now. And where do I want to be? Here. I just want to actually, I want to check to see if you guys can hear me still. Can you hear me? Okay, good. Okay, so there we go. Okay, we did this. Welcome. We have your name. Get started. Verify you land on the dashboard projects. Check whether the page loads. Page loads with an auth error. Failed to load team members. Go through the sequence and tell me exactly when you see, especially whether the welcome mode will behave correctly, whether there are any red banners appear. Good. Okay, so accept all. All right, so then what we're going to do is we go back to, it's working now. So I'll just, over here, I write cascade, says this, everything worked. I signed up as a new user and I confirmed by email, and then I logged in, and the pop-up asked me to add a name and team and see images. Ooh, come on. Didn't get far enough. I don't necessarily need to tell architect everything. Because I mean, I usually like run out. Like if I'm doing this all day long, I definitely run out of prompts with Gemini. There you go. For the first time in the entire engagement, we have a confirmed happy path execution for a real user in the local development environment. We have a verified stack boot, auth sign up, email confirmation, login, team int, getting started modal, successfully created team member and record. Navigation, you were redirected to the project's page. Team member API screen shows this. The red error banner is gone. The architect strategic pivot from debugging to verification sprint 1 is complete. You have successfully verified foundational layer of applications. Atomic verification strategy works. We now move to sprint 2, projects and objectives. Exactly. All right, there you go. So now I don't need to architect. Exactly. Everybody's on the same page. It worked. I can't believe it. Freaked, it's so crazy. My website, my little baby. I've been working with this baby for 10 years. I mean, this specific baby for since I came up with the basic design, and then but the whole project for more than 10 years. 10 years. What do you get? You get a rabbit race goal tracker with a dial. You get a touch based module. You get 3 modules for objectives. You get a vision module. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You get 5 modules and a rabbit race goal tracker with a dial. That's 10 years of my life right there. So crazy. Crazy. Sprint 2. Okay, so open the projects tab. Check. You should already have your screen. Ensure the top nav shows team MVP. Team MVP. What's a team MVP? Click projects tab. You should have no active projects. Create your first project. The team member position script. You should see. Okay, yeah, I see all that. That's correct. I see all that. Add a new project. So now I'm going to click the blue add a project. Which one? This one? Create your first project or add a project? So, Q1 marketing launch. Q1 marketing launch. Check the box, fill out vision now. Create project. What should happen? Expected behavior. So this is the visions module. What's the problem we're trying to solve? I don't think that's the right question. What's the purpose of the project? Oh, I think I have. Oh, I gotta go.